Well, IG Group has been around now since mid-1980s, privately owned, and we supply the licensed victuallers trade, contract cleaning markets within the North East and indeed the whole of the UK. Started out by RMD some years ago, and we're now up to £17 million turnover, and we have some customers varying from the small privately owned pubs through to the large contract cleaning chains that supply and clean some of the customers such as Tesco's, New Look stores, Debenhams, etc. etc. Well, for a number of years we've been loosely looking at a replacement system to the system we'd had for the best part of 25 years, which was a cell-based system. We clearly identified the fact that we needed to move to a more modern platform that used the Windows environment, because that's what staff these days are used to. And we looked at one or two systems and finally came across Merlin and felt that was something that was more suited to our needs. The company that supplied it was open to adopting our way of working and adding in features that we required. Systems we used to use, as I say, was a cell-based system. It was actually developed primarily by myself in the company I used to work for before joining IG Group, or Inner Glass as we used to be known. It had done a job for us. It had been, as I say, it had been in place for 20 odd years. But because it was cell-based, it was running on hardware that was becoming increasingly difficult to maintain, it didn't easily lend itself to integrating with websites, handheld terminals, and had difficulty in doing multi-bin location stock. So that was one of the driving forces about looking for something new. The thing about Merlin that stood out was the fact that the software was easy to get used to. It was very clear where you found stock information, it was very easy where you found customer information. And we've found since we've gone live that staff get acclimatised to the using of Merlin very, very quickly. Excuse me. And we don't have to have 2 or 3 days worth of familiarisation training before they start to use it. Within the space of an hour or two, they're putting in the first sales orders, they're doing the first sales order inquiries, stock inquiries, etc., etc. And we don't want to have the cost of paying people without getting some productive work out of them. And that was something that was a real great benefit to us when we looked at Merlin. One of the other reasons why we selected both Merlin the company and Merlin the software was the fact that there was a number of features that we had in our existing legacy system that we had to have as part of our business to continue. And of all the companies we'd seen over the years, Merlin was the one that was more open to adding in these sort of features. So what's actually happened over the years is we've had some features put into Merlin that are unique to us, and we've had some features put into Merlin that Merlin perceived was good features to add into the standard product set. An example being dashboard. That was something that we showed what we had in the previous system in the early days. And the rebates. Rebates wasn't previously featured, it was in Merlin. We used it already. That's now part of the standard product set. And there are others, but that's the two that immediately spring to mind. Well, the benefits that Merlin has created comes from multiple aspects. Because we're making use of the handheld terminals, in the past what we used to find was that stock would be delivered into us, but people in the sales office weren't aware of the arrival of stock until maybe the following day, or sometimes the day after that. Because using the handheld terminals, that books the stock in straight away. We can turn the stock around the same day if we need to. It's the immediacy of the information. It's the fact that Merlin allows our guys out on the road doing the selling to tap into the system remotely when they're out and about in front of customers, and they can actually, basically everybody is informed as to what the situation is. We've got a few plans which are in motion at the moment. We plan to integrate Merlin more closely with our company website. We're already getting some sales orders in, but we've recently added in the fact that the stock is now updated live onto the website. We're doing carrier integration, so that we're going to be integrating into the carrier toughness that we use for all of our parcel deliveries. And also we're going to integrate in with online credit card authorization, because we're finding a lot of our smaller accounts, because they haven't been in business long enough, they don't actually have a credit rating and therefore have to pay on credit card, and therefore to get quick turnaround of card payments, we can then get their order out the same day, all being well. There's no one specific favourite feature I would have to do with Merlin. It's just the general look and feel. It is easy to use, and what it says on screen is what it's going to do. So if you go into a customer, it is the customer information. It's not something altogether different. The fact that it prints off the invoices automatically, prints off the pick lists automatically. It's just the general feel. There's no one specific feature that we would put our finger on as saying is our favourite. It's just the system as a whole. On the grounds that if it hadn't been a system that worked for us, we wouldn't still be using it today. We're still using it today, I think end of 2 years after go live. That in itself is the greatest recommendation that we could ever give, and we have already acted as a recommendation to some other Merlin customers to recommend that they did actually move from the existing system over to the new Merlin site.